Look me straight in the eye. That's what Clara said, smirk curling at the corner of her mouth, voice dripping with this cold kind of challenge that made the air go thin. She put her hand right on Amira's chin, lifted her face up for the whole classroom to see, like she was checking to make sure her brain knew who was in charge. Phone started recording. I could see the little red lights pop on across the room, and all those half-fake giggles started up, the sound of a pen clattering on tile, cutting through it all. If you've ever been in a room when a bully thinks they're untouchable, you know the energy nobody wanted to be the next target. So everybody played along. But Clara, she picked the wrong girl this time. Amira Johnson, quiet, dark-eyed, never flinched, never even blinked. The whole class, for one frozen second, watched her hold Clara's gaze, steady as a lake on a windless morning. You could feel something shift, but nobody said a word. Yeah, that happened. And just so, before I even get into the mess that unraveled at Riverton High, drop a comment where you're watching from. I want to know who's out there with me, rooting for the underdogs. Hit like if you've ever wanted to see justice served, because what happened next, you won't forget. It was that first autumn morning, sunlight cutting through the big glass windows of Riverton High, painting stripes across the courtyard full of golden leaves. Kids piled off the yellow bus, laughing, shoving, being loud. At the back, Amira stepped down, her blue backpack hanging loose, her hand gripping the strap, face totally calm, like she'd done this 100 times. And she had. Chicago, Denver, Houston, every time her dad got a new job, she had to start over. She'd learned to keep her head down, walk soft, let the world think she was invisible. But new schools have a nose for newcomers. The minute she crossed those iron gates, she felt the look, sideways glances, whispers, the kind of smiles that don't mean welcome. Her father always said, "Walk soft, speak less, know yourself." That was her shield. She found her locker 3B27, turned the dial, tried to blend in. But then, the crowd parted, and you could hear the change in the hallway, like everyone was waiting for the real show. Clara Whitmore. Everybody knew her, even if you'd never spoken to her. Spotless white blazer, hair slick as glass, flanked by Lena and Sophie, who never said much but watched everything. Clara didn't rush, she glided, like the hallway belonged to her, and people just got out of the way. When she stopped next to Amira, it was almost quiet enough to hear the blood in your ears. "So you're the new girl," she said, head tilted, voice syrupy, and just loud enough for everyone to catch. Lena stepped closer, pretending to admire Amira's hair. Sophie let out this fake giggle. Phones slid up, subtle as snakes. Amira didn't react and give them a single thing to use. She just stood there, turned her focus back to the lock, but her hands tightened on the dial. That was the script Clara liked, the queen picking her target. First class, Amira sat at the back, near the window, soaking in the calm. Clara and her crew stormed in late, heels echoing. Clara came right up, leaned down, her fingers cold and deliberate, grabbing Amira's chin. "Hold your head up. Let's see what the face of someone from the slums looks like." You could have heard a pin drop. Amira didn't tremble, just stare back, eyes deep and calm. That's when Clara hesitated, just a flicker, but I saw it. She let go when the bell rang, left a red mark on Amira's cheek, strutted off like nothing happened. Amira went right back to writing. But inside, her heart was pounding. She'd promised herself, after what happened in Chicago, a fight, the ambulance, the months of rumors, that she'd never lose control again. Never start the fight, her dad always said, but if you have to, end it with control. That night, Clara was in her fancy dorm, sending out the video 10 seconds, just enough to make Amira look weak. "Stone face," Sophie giggled. And just like that, the nickname stuck. The group chat exploded. Amira, sitting at her tiny desk at home, watched the comments roll in. "Stoneface, what a freak. Clara's the queen. No one touches her." And then the DM, "If you don't bow down tomorrow, we'll show you what hell looks like." Amira closed her eyes. "Don't react," she whispered. "Don't let them see." But silence, in a place like Riverton, is gasoline. The next day, boys mimicked Clara's move, tried to get a reaction, but Amira just walked Onis ahead, never flinched. She sat alone at lunch, tried to eat, but a new video dropped her walking. The caption, "Stoneface knows no shame." Laughter rippled around the room. Clara lifted her cup, locked eyes with Amira, and tipped red juice all over Amira's lunch tray. Gasps, snickers, phones everywhere. Amira stood, took her ruined tray to the trash, wiped her hands, and sat back down, calm as ever. That silence see no tears, no anger unsettled everyone more than any outburst could have. Even Clara looked rattled. Why doesn't she look scared? Sophie whispered. Lena frowned. For the first time, Clara's power looked shaky. That afternoon, Amira went home, pulled out an old photo of her and her dad in his gym clothes, the poster behind. Discipline is strength. Control is victory. She knew tomorrow would be rougher, but she made a promise she wouldn't let anyone take her dignity. The days got nastier. Clara started working behind the scenes, doctored up videos, rumors spreading that Amira was violent, unstable, not to be trusted. Some people believed it. Most just watched to see what would happen next. One small boy, nervous, stuttering, came up to her at her locker and whispered, "You don't have to go. They're not worth it." She just smiled. If I run, they'll never stop. When the final bell rang that Friday, a note was taped to her locker. After school. Backlit by the gym. If you don't show, everyone will know you're nothing. CW. 3 letters that meant the whole school would be watching. Amira folded it up, put it in her pocket. Clara waited at the end of the hallway, pleated skirt, gold buttons, a crowd forming. Don't run. Don't disappoint the school, Clara said. Amira didn't even blink. I'll be there. That afternoon, the backlit felt like an arena, kids crowded in. Phones up, Lena and Sophie standing on either side of Clara, 2 basketball guys ready for backup. Clara opened with a speech, voice cold as glass. There's only one person here who decides who gets to exist, and today you'll bow. Amira shook her head, voice quiet but sharp. I didn't come to bow. Brandon, one of the boys, lunged. Amira sidestepped, caught his wrist, flipped him harder, hit the ground so fast, the whole circle gasped. Tyler came next, fist swinging, but Amira ducked, pinned his arm behind his back, and let him go. The crowd fell silent. Phones wobbled, live stream shook. For a heartbeat, Clara froze. Then she went for Amira herself, hand raised a slap. Brown hair flying, but Amira caught her wrist, spun her around, held her steady, looked her right in the eyes. You've never been strong, she said. You'll never control me. Clara staggered back, caught by her friends. The crowd erupted not with jeers, but this awed, heavy hush. The next day, the whole school watched the videos over and over, Brandon and Tyler on the ground, Clara nearly falling, Amira unmoved. Clara showed up to class alone, Lena and Sophie now keeping their distance, her old crew gone quiet. Amira walked the halls, head high, meeting new, stares not mocking, but almost respectful. But Clara wasn't finished. She forged a new video, spliced together to make Amira look like a bully. She spread it everywhere. But then the same shy boy from before stood up at the school assembly, played the real clip. It was all fake. The room turned on Clara in an instant. Her power, built on fear, crumbled. For the first time, Clara was the one everyone avoided. Amira didn't gloat. She didn't take the crown, didn't want it. She went back to her quiet table, let others sit with her if they wanted, answered kindness with kindness. The teachers noticed. Kids who'd been bullied before started speaking up. The school changed, not all at once, but enough that the laughter in the halls sounded different, lighter, freer. And Clara, she faded out. Ate alone. Sometimes Amira caught her glancing over, looking small, but there was no hatred left. Amira knew true strength wasn't about breaking others. It was about holding yourself together, even when the world wanted to tear you down. On weekends, a few kids started practicing self-defense moves on the basketball court, asking Amira quietly if she'd show them. Standing strong doesn't start with a punch, she'd say. It starts with your heart. The autumn wind kicked up, swirling gold leaves across the schoolyard. Amira watched from the steps, finally at peace. So that's the story. Riverton High wasn't just changed by a fight, it was changed by someone who refused to lose control. If you think courage and self-control matter, hit like, drop a comment. What would you have done in Amira's place? Ever seen someone stand up to a bully and change everything? I want to hear your stories. And stick around for the next one because justice, once it starts rolling, doesn't stop at the door. See you next time.